A colleague of mine does the vaping thing, so I've gotten these two off of him. The brand is Cuvie. I assume that's how you pronounce it. They have two different styles here. I'm going to open the smaller one first. This one, of course, they both need power. So this is the Cuvie Plus. But this one has an inbuilt battery. It's a disposable. They're both disposable actually. This one, however, has a port for USB charger. So clearly there's a charge controller and most likely lithium-ion battery in this one. And I would assume similar design, something to sense the air being pulled, start the heating element, a small heating element. And I don't know if there's any regulation, not sure if there's a small microchip or not. So let's have a look. We'll open this one to start with. Hopefully it's easy enough. This piece looks like it can power out. If not, it may be a problem. I hardly have any equipment on this island. So inside, this is what we have. We have the tip, and that has a little piece of sponge in it, and that just pulls straight out. Behind that, there was this silicone type rubber with some seals. I think it's barely visible, and that seals in there. Behind that, we had the sponge with the fluid in it. There's clearly a little bit of fluid left in there. You have the tube, nothing inside the tube right now. Then we go down the line. There was a straw coming straight through the center holes, and there's some heating element in here, and this looks like where all the liquid vaporizes. There's another one of those rubber seals, silicone type rubber. There's the battery, the heating element here. I assume the sensor to determine when you suck comes in from there, and that makes the contact there. A battery, which we'll investigate a little bit further. There's some writing on it. And then there's the end plastic piece, and this little piece in the end just plugged in. That allowed a little bit of space between the edge here to allow air to come in. So as we pull in from, and then this was just wrapped around inside like that. So not the most complex device in the world. Let's see how that works, how that gets activated, and let's see if you can learn a little bit more about the battery. So digging a little further, we got the tube, which was actually cut with a little hole in. There's a little heating element just wrapped around a wicked material, which would have taken the fluid out from the sponge. So that's relatively simple. There's this little, I don't know what it is. It has to be the sensor that picks up the air, so it's not in there. It's actually at the bottom of that plastic piece. I had to destroy that plastic piece to get that out. It was fairly well stuck in there. But they've basically taken the two red wires from here, showing one here and changed it to blue, another red from the positive of the battery, and this black, which seems to come from the negative of the battery. So that's black and red. So clearly they're suggesting negative, positive, and then this is the switched. Well, I'm guessing that's the switched positive actually. That's why it's red. This one should have probably been black out of it, and that would have been a negative coming off from a negative side, and the switch positive. So this switches somehow. It's really not very much can tell from it. The battery does say 8C 17350, 3.7 volts, and it says I think it's 850 milliampere hours. So yeah, it does seem like this is actually a lithium-ion battery, which is weird. You know, maybe I'm mistaken, but I'll look up that number and see. If I'm mistaken, I'll note that. I'm going to take out these two things and see if there's a charge controller anywhere on this, right? But there's no charging capabilities, so I don't know why they would put a charge controller. So let's have a look. Let's just take off these two things and see what we can see there. Well, they've basically sealed this in a plastic package with a foil covering. I don't know why. They've put the two pieces of insulation on either side, these, to make sure there's no short off. That's a good plan. Probably isn't the best idea to cut this open and see what's inside, but notwithstanding, I'm going to cut it open and see what's inside. Well, seems relatively dangerous. I'm not sure if visible on the camera, but that seems to be reacting very badly. It looks like it's going to explode. It's a high chemical scent inside there. It's a roll battery, which you probably can't see from inside, but I'm not going to go much closer to it right now. That is definitely a severe reaction occurring, and it's, as I said, probably going to explode.